right, you guys, we have another episode for you today. Welcome to Chocolate Hazelnut Podcast. I'm Hazelnut.
And I'm Chocolate, and welcome to our show. Before we start, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube and on Spotify and on a variety of podcasting platforms.
So today we have a very interesting topic. I'm pretty sure for those who are dating or have dated, this has been a topic of conversation that has come up quite a bit. So let's dig in.
Some dudes got it embedded in their head that if they had to choose, rather than taking a woman on a date and getting in order to get the cheeks, they might rather pay for it up front. I call me old school. I don't believe in paying for nothing I can't get a receipt for. But that's me. And when I come across these men more often than rare, the reasoning is simple. They say it's cheaper. But reason kind of like petty and childish. Because y'all should hear the way these dudes break it down. Well, I gotta get gas before I pick her up, pay for the movie, and I gotta pay for the refreshments. I'm sure she wanna go to dinner to talk about the movie, then I gotta drop her off. This is always the end. It's not even definite I'm gonna get the cheeks.
It's not even definite I'm going to get the cheeks.
So, I get his issue.
I don't think it's his issue. I think he's responding to men who say that.
If you choose to pay to play, I don't see anything wrong with it. Personally, I don't do it.
Question though, when people say pay to play, right? So if you go on a dating app, you meet a chick, you like, I want to get to know you better, yada yada yada, and then you decide to go on a date with that person, okay? Or let's say a guy that's choosing to go out on a date with the girl. If you didn't say up front, hey, like I expect this or this is what I'm looking for, because usually like during those first kind of getting to know you chats or whatever, and dating, it's like, what are you looking for, right? So if you say, well, I'm looking for a special lady or this, that, and the third, and she's under the impression that you want a relationship, but you're under the impression if you want to get some, that's a miscommunication,
Even if I'm looking for a long-time relationship, I still want to get some. That's just
Yeah, but if
human
you
nature.
are,
It's like this. Pay to play, that means I'm not.
I mean, but you might as well then.
I don't consider dating. Dating is paying for it, but if she want to give it to me on the first date, don't mind me if I say, okay, I want to take it.
I mean, that's not the problem. I think the problem is when the guys expect, okay, well, I've paid for this date, so you need to give it up. Versus like, okay, well, if that happens, cool. If not, cool. But then you have the ones that's like, if it does happen, now all of a sudden you look at her different because it's like, well, if she gave it to me like this, then she's doing that to everybody, and I can't date anybody like that. So really, it's a lose-lose situation if you look at it like that for the woman.
At my age, I come into it thinking that 99% of the time, the woman's not a virgin, and that if she wants to sleep with me, she know it from the moment I pick her up. And unless I do something to blow it, at the end of the night, there's a chance that I'm going to get it. Even if she's playing hard to get, or I'm the good girl type. My experiences is that the good girl types are the main ones that give it up on the first night. The ones who act like they just ready down be the ones trying to make you chase.
Okay, but see, I feel like the point of it is that many women kind of don't feel like they want to be obligated to be put in those situations. Like, no.
You're not obligated to put
But
out.
a lot of men are like, well, and that's what he just said. Like, well, if she's not going to give it up, or it's not even guaranteed that I'm going to get any at the end of the night, so I don't want to go on a date. Then I mean, why are you trying to date then?
That's why they pay to play.
No, if that's the case, like literally, there are tons of people.
That's why they're using those excuses to why they go buy prostitutes. That's why
That's
they
not
go.
prostitutes. This is dating.
No, but that's what pay to play means. Pay to play means you're paying to get the cheeks. That means you're paying a prostitute.
Yeah, but no.
And there is that people pay. When guys say they don't pay to play,
let's run this back. Hold on, because like
that's what he's talking about. But he said he's comparing it to guys who say if you're taking the girl out on a date, you're paying for the food, you're paying for the drinks you paying for this, that, and that, comparing that to pay to play. That is what he's saying doing this.
No, I
That's
don't.
what
I don't interpret it that way.
that's what he's saying.
I interpret it from based on what he said.
All right, start it over. Let's go.
Let's start it over because he legitly is saying that um the guys who are saying that they don't take women out on dates because and he starts talking.
Yeah,
So that's not prostitution. You're saying that I don't want to date a woman because she's not going to give me
I know,
the cheeks,
but that's
and so I don't want to spend my money on her. But then you, on the same breath though, you turn around and say that women are doing this or doing that, or you want a wife or you want a long-term relationship and this and that, but you can't be in that mindset and
the guys who are saying they don't pay to play are not the guys that's trying to get a wife. Those are the ones that's trying. Those are the ones that's playing games, mental mind games with you. Just because they're saying it, don't mean that they're trying to get married.
Okay, let's run this back.
Well, some dudes got it embedded in their head that if they had to choose, rather than taking a woman on a date and getting in order to get the cheeks, they might rather pay for it up front. I call them.
Told you, pay for it up front, right there.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, cool. I don't believe in paying for nothing I can't get a receipt for. That's me. And when I come across these men more often than rare, the reasoning is simple. They say it's cheaper. But fucking dumb reason. Kind of like petty and childish. Because y'all should hear the way these dudes break it down. Well, I gotta get gas before I pick her up, pay for the movie, and I gotta pay for the refreshments. I'm sure she wanna go to dinner to talk about the movie. Then I gotta drop her off. And this is always the end. It's not even definite I'm gonna get the cheeks. Why?
All right, I take it back. You're right.
I mean,
he's talking about prostitution there, and he said, they rather pay for it up front. I got it.
But back to what you were saying before, you made a good point. There's a lot of guys out here that say they're ready to be a husband, they're ready to be in a long-term relationship, but they're playing that mental mind game so they can get some. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, and this is my experience, if you tell a woman up front, it's about 50-50 chance some of them be like, all right, let's get it.
I mean, but I feel like guys have a better shot at because like you say, like women know whether or not they want to sleep with you or not. Just the same as men know the same, But at the end of the day, I feel like if all you want is just to hook up, and if you are honest about that up front, I feel like more people will be receptive to say, like, you know what, well, it is what it is. Let's do this or not, and then to keep going. But if you are saying, well, I want, I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for somebody, da 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 da, but then you go down the path of like just trying to hook up, like that's the problem. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and finish this clip.
I don't know if I'm intrigued or befuddled. The micro money management thought process that goes into analyzing a damn date is actually kind of genius. But it's fucking dumb when you equating it to getting some cheeks. If it's that serious. I don't know, it just sounds kind of weird that if you go on a date with a woman and you don't get the cheeks, you consider it a waste of money. There's literally women that have a profession for that. Maybe you should seek them. But let's go along with this analogy that paying for cheeks is cheaper. What did you get out of that? I mean, the cheeks, of course, but that's a one-time deal. I mean, you can get it again if you pay to play. But this is the analogy that we're going with. I guess I'm paying to play too. My date is a down payment. I'm not going to hit and quit. I'm going to keep hitting it. If I hit it right, I can hit it again. Let's say getting the cheeks off the table. The money I spent on the date wasn't to get the cheeks. The money I spent was the purchase on what was for purchase. I was going to get gas anyway. Did I watch the movie too? They make it seem like they wasn't part of the activity. They paid for her company. Paid for the festivities. You know what? If I don't end up getting the cheeks, I'm going to enjoy myself. What a bum-ass thought process. The movie was started fresh, most was funny, did get gas, and that equal up to getting the cheeks. If you don't, now you feel ripped off. What the fuck? What type of reverse pimp shit is this? So you only took her on a date because she wanted the cake? You didn't find nothing interesting about it? Just that she looked good. This bitch probably could juggle. That's sexy. You can go out with a chick and she could be cracked. But if she turned out to be a weirdo, I don't even want to hit it at all. Does the factor of anything?
The weirdos are fun.
I mean, I just want to reiterate here. He is talking about dating. So let's just.
So he said,
backtrack on
yeah, he want to get to know it. Maybe this bitch. He said, he a fool, man. Oh,
also, man. He has a good point. He was like, didn't I watch the movie too? Didn't I eat? You're paying for the festivities, not the cheeks. Like, that's the point. And a lot of people who feel this way, particularly men, that's how they think. Let's finish the clip though. It's almost over, I think.
interesting about this woman make her more attractive, or he just want to cheat? Why do you always want to put a credit card on the glizzy? You putting the case on the best. Shouldn't you be honored to give it a glizzy just like she should be honored to give it up to you? Giving no self control. We all got the people that we just want to break off. As soon as you see it, you know not. The thought of wanting to tear her ass up, that should never be greater than the idea of actually getting to know what type of person it is. I don't know, just my opinion.
All right. So with that being said,
Can you admit that I was right and you were wrong?
no, because he's talking about dating.
But the
So
analogy is comparing dating to, well,
well,
sorry,
it's
it's not even an
comparing.
analogy. It's comparing dating to
Well,
when what guys say when they just want the cheats that they rather pay to play. I don't personally want
well,
to pay.
he said there's like pay to play, or you might as well. He said some guys
Yeah, that's how
prefer
some guys.
that, but then as he's continued, he was talking about the guys in their thought processes on dating and
Yeah,
this and that and
certain
third.
guys.
Right,
Yeah,
certain
certain
guys.
guys prefer that because they're like dating is like paying to play. He said if you want to look at it like that, you can look at it as a down payment as to getting to know someone that instead of being a one time transaction that over time it can be multiple times.
Right. So now I have a question then, because like there's this. I don't even know if it's a new trend or not, but I know it's this whole thing of like coffee dates or like going out where you don't have to spend a lot of money, or what's worse is like, oh, come chill at my house so we can get to know each other. Um, thoughts?
So I'm a fan of the coffee date myself because the coffee date, taking someone on a walk because I want to take the time to get to know you, pick your brain, and see what your mental makeup is. Uh, I want to get past your exterior that attracted me to you. Yes, we may have been talking or texting, but now I get to look in your eyes and see if those things that you said are true. I want to know what your morals are. I want to know your values. I want to know how you were raised. I want to know if you came from a one parent home to a parent home, if you were raised to be independent and interdependent, if you know how to work with the man, or if you expect the man to come in
All
and,
that's coming from one date.
yeah, no, that's just some conversations. You realize the
um,
conversation you can have can be very deep, and you guys
I mean,
over time get
but
to know each
again,
other.
you're saying
But
that in a
hold
sense
on,
of like the first date, but like,
oh,
shouldn't you be talking to this person and things like that prior to the first date as well? Like, let's say,
sometimes that's not the case. If you want to look at
okay,
it,
true.
you can walk up to someone, hey, get the number, and say, hey, if you're free, let's meet up for coffee. Let's meet up and talk and chat and get to know each other. Sometimes you can chat with somebody and you know how it is, especially if you're using dating sites. It's that, hey, how you doing, what you doing all the time, and
Hmm.
then you try to engage them in a conversation. They give you the 1 or 2 word answers, or they like you can come off as boring because you can't show your true personality. But in that coffee date, that walk, you guys can talk. You get to break the ice. You guys get to find out what you have in common, and the conversations can progress naturally, as it
Okay,
should between a man and a woman.
all right. I mean, I don't have anything against coffee dates particularly. Like, honestly, I feel like if you like a person, really, regardless of whatever it is you decide to do on the first date, second date, whatever, as long as you're getting to know each other, then it's your business. Now, if you go somewhere to like a concert as a first date, you're not
Yeah,
really talking to each other or whatever, so you're not really getting to know them.
y'all not even spending time together. Y'all just in the same place at the same time.
Right. And so then so I feel like as long as whatever it is you're doing, you're actually getting time or having time to get to know this other person, it's worth it in a sense of that. But then I also think that when you think about back to what he was saying in the video clip, um some of these things are investments. So if you're paying for a dinner and a movie, if you're paying for I don't know, let's say ice skating, like maybe neither one of you have ever ice skated and that's what you decide to do for a first date. It's an experience that you guys share. So even if things doesn't go right, or after the date you decide, hey, like, you know what, this isn't going to work, whatever, like the the price of the date wasn't in vain per se, just because you didn't get the cheats. Like, you still got to say, hey, I went ice skating. And even if you don't remember the chick, you're like, well, there was this one time on a date we went ice skated, I busted my ass like 3 times, but it was a great time. Like, so at the end of the day, it's still not necessarily a negative for you unless you're looking at it from the standpoint of like, well, I paid X amount of dollars and I got nothing in return. If that entire experience was meant nothing to you, then you probably shouldn't have been with that person anyway. And I feel like they dodged a bullet with you because of that's the way you viewed it.
So I do agree with the points that you made. They are valid. However, some guys prefer to pay to play, and I tell those guys that they should continue doing it because they don't need to be out here ruining other people's lives because they're just out for the cheats, causing emotional scarring that other guys have to come in, pick up, and deal with as she's going through her healing process. Because either she didn't get therapy, or she's listening to her friends, or she's living in that moment and she's feeling used, abused, and don't know who she can trust. So now the next person has to come in and clean it up. So I say for those guys who just want the cheats, continue to pay to play. Don't be out here selling women false hope, saying I want to be with you, I want you to have my baby, I want to marry you. Go pay your $20 if that's what you like, or your $200, and get your thing sucked and get your nut and go about your business. You know what I mean? That's how I personally feel about it. I prefer them to do that. That way, it eliminates the person that's lying. They're not out here creating babies, hopefully. They're not out here spreading diseases through people because they're lying about their intent. So go pay to play. You have fun. Yeah, so just 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 go out there, have your fun, and let's eliminate lying to people.
All right. All right, you guys. Well, that's our show for you today. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on any of our podcast platforms as well as YouTube. And let us know what you think in the comments.